And a highly anticipated season opener. Ohio State ranks second and third in both major polls. Begins the season by hosting preseason #1 Texas. Sayin under center. 4th and goal with the ball inside the Texas 2. Handoff goes to Donaldson. Knifes into the end zone for a touchdown. C.J. Donaldson followed his blockers. Sayin in a shotgun, receives the football, fakes a handoff, looks to throw. Sayin will pump that one deep down the right side, left sideline, Tate with it, taken down in the end zone for a touchdown, Carnell Tate. Manning pivots to throw from his own 36, shoots that up the right side of the field, intercepted by Ohio State, and stepping out of bounds, Germaine Matthews with his second career interception.
I think the guys have just done a great job of learning, some different nuances, the things that we've added, and just going out and execute at a high level. So
my coaches prepared me well, and I was able to see the looks out there that we've been preparing for. So it definitely was good.
I thought our guys were gritty. They were tough. Won the game in the trenches.
What a way to kick off the season. Ohio State taking down the top-ranked Longhorns. Hello and welcome to Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington. I'm Adam King. Over the next hour, we get you set for that game against Grambling State. We'll hear from associate head coach and defensive line coach Larry Johnson, plus QB1 Julian Sayin. He stops by, and junior cornerback Germaine Matthews. He talks with us. But first, here is Dom Tiberi with head coach Ryan Day.
Coach, it was an amazing atmosphere, noon kick, and I know you encouraged Buckeye Nation going into that game. Wow, it was deafening, 14-7 victory. It was just neat to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, you could feel it here Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday morning. You could just see it as we drive the buses from the hotel, through campus. We're going through some of the fraternities and right down onto High Street, and you could just feel the energy. But to me, like when we came out for warm-ups and there wasn't an open seat in the whole stadium, you could feel it. And but right from the jump, the crowd was into it, and it made a big difference.
You look at that game. Did it go the way you thought? Obviously, you play it out in your mind the best you can. Until you actually see it, you don't know. But I was very, very impressed.
Well, you never know how it's going to go, especially when you have a lot of guys who haven't played as much. But I had a feeling watching our team play that, we were going to compete at a high level. We're gritty, we're physical. To say that we were going to open it up and throw the ball over the place and score 40 points, I knew that wasn't going to happen. If we needed to, we had the plays that we could call. But as the game wore on, and I felt like, we had that long drive, and I saw the way our defense was playing. And then we got pinned back a few times, and I didn't want to put the quarterback or Julian in a bad spot. So, would we have liked to convert some of those? Yes. Would we have liked to score more points? Yes. But at the end of the day, it was about coming down with a win against a very good team. And watching the film, there was a lot of things that we did well. I thought we played really hard, and we played physical. We didn't turn the ball over, no sacks. The explosive plays. There were some down the stretch, but overall, I thought we did a good job of that. A lot of things that we can improve on, and that was really what this week's been about.
I really liked the toughness, the grittiness that the club showed, and that was a heavyweight fight in the trenches, especially.
It's as good a looking team as you'll see in the country. Coming out for warm-ups, I was looking, and they're a beautiful looking team, and so we knew that's what it was going to be. It was like that when we played them last year. So I think coming out of this game, it's going to give our team certainly a reference point, but confidence, knowing that we still have a lot of growth that we need to work on, and it's a race now to see who can get better faster across the country. But I think we know physically that we can play with anybody in the country. Now, in terms of execution and all those types of things, that's where we got to get better.
I know Coach Patricia, we talked to him after the game, very, very happy with how it went. And, the one thing I said to him is that they played fast. Those guys knew what they were doing, and they were playing fast, Coach.
Yeah, they were. I thought, you got to give, Matt credit. You got to give our defensive staff credit. But most importantly, you got to give the players credit. They played hard, they played physical, and it really took a lot of work in the offseason. It took a lot of work in August to get to the point where we could play at that level early in the season, with a new coordinator. But But yeah, again, just to start, I think a lot of situations came up in the game that were good. You know, you saw ourselves in the red zone. You saw ourselves 4th and 1 on the 1 yard line. You know, 3rd downs. You know, 2-minute drill at the end. So a lot of situations to learn from as well.
Now we want to bring in our experts, joined by Coach Cooper and Tyvis Powell. He's new to the show this year, but we're going to start with you, Coop. And Texas, Ohio State. They came in ranked 1 and 2 in the coaches poll. They looked like 2 of the best teams in the country in my eyes. Do you agree? What were your initial thoughts of this game?
I think they are the 2 best teams in the country. I would put us ahead of Texas. I think last week Texas was ahead of us going into the game. But 2 great defensive teams played. Now, offensively, both of them had a little bit more. They got to improve offensively, but defensively, that's as good as you're going to see in college football.
Tyvis, it feels like there are some people that want to backpedal their preseason expectations of Texas here. I thought it was just Ohio State controlling the game, certainly on defense, but also managing the game on offense. Do you agree? I mean, Texas is still one of the best teams in the country.
Texas will be fine. Listen, what they found out is Matt Patricia is really good at calling defense, and Ryan Day and Brian Hartline is an excellent play caller. We have very talented players here at Ohio State, and Texas does too. There's a bunch of guys on that defensive side of the ball that I said that guy's going to play on Sundays, and he's going to make a ton of plays. Ohio State just made the better plays that on last Saturday, and that's just what it comes down to in college football. Texas will be fine. I expect to see them in the CFP at the end, competing for a national championship.
How important is it as a coach in any game to not try to force things and try to dictate a game when really you figured out you can probably win on defense?
I say this all the time. A team that makes the fewest mistakes usually wins the game. If you don't give up big plays, and you don't turn the ball over, you're going to win. And when you play great defense like we did, you're going to win most of those games. But our defense, we got our linebackers 6'4", 240 pounds, and they're trying to run a sneak. I mean, give me a break, for goodness sake.
One of the loudest games I've ever heard. You played a lot of games there. Do you agree? What was that environment like?
Our fans were spectacular last Saturday, and if they continue to do that, this team will continue to win a lot of games. Trust me, players feed off of that, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We feel that pulse, that energy, and that is why they were able to get those pivotal 4th downs and get those stops and get off the field.
One guy that they were cheering very loud for is Julian Sayin. And we're going to get to the Buckeye offense in just a bit, but he seemed calm, cool, and collected in his first start with Ohio State. A great performance to begin his career. He talked with our Nicole Sheeran.
Julian Sayin, I'm going to be a sophomore, and I'm quarterback.
So Julian, obviously this season you're taking on a much bigger role than last year. What has that adjustment been like for you?
Yeah, it's been good this offseason. Just stepping into that role, stepping in that leadership role, and just trying to focus on improving daily, but also stepping in that leadership role.
Last season, learning from a guy like Will Howard, what can you take away from that year, sharing a room with him, that you're carrying over to this season? Yeah,
Will did a really good job being a leader for the team and for the offense. I took a lot of things from him, and I feel like there was just so much that he did well that I'm trying to take from him and implement into my game.
Coach Ryan Day has talked about a lot that the theme of this year is growing up as a team. How have you seen that so far, and how are you maybe personally working on that as well?
Yeah, I feel like we're maturing in a lot of ways, off the field and on the field, just about, the way we practice, the way we watch film, and, everything about us. I feel like we're maturing, and I feel like myself, I am maturing well also.
Being in a quarterback room with guys, before you and now, CJ, Justin Fields, you, Will Howard, Lincoln, Tavian, the list could go, all the way back, Troy Smith, It goes on. How special is that to be a part of an Ohio State room like that?
Yeah, it's definitely special. The history they have here for quarterback is definitely special, and I definitely one of the reasons that I was looking to come here. So it's definitely awesome to be here, and it feels like a dream when you go out to practice and you're throwing the best receivers in the country.
That's what I wanted to ask you next, was when you made the choice to make the move to Columbus, why Ohio State? What was it about this program that made you want to come here?
Yeah, I feel like the quarterback history they have here, the tradition of the program, and then just being coached by someone like Coach Day, who's focused on the quarterbacks, and he coaches them hard. I feel like that's kind of what drew me here.
What is your personal goal for the season? Of course, the big goal as a team you kind of all share, but do you have any personal goals for yourself?
Yeah, I feel like I just want to help the team and help the offense in whatever role or whatever way I can. And, just focus on that.
As a California girl myself, I have to ask you, Do you miss the sunshine? Do you miss things about California? How different is Columbus for you?
Yeah, definitely. It was a little bit different. You know, there's definitely a couple things I miss. You know, I miss breakfast burritos and you know going in the ocean. But I love Columbus. It's a great city.
Now let's send it over to Jim Lachey to look back on that huge win last Saturday.
Well, the #1 team came into Ohio Stadium last week, the Texas Longhorns, and the Buckeyes were waiting for them, especially on that defensive side. How about that performance? Matt Patricia, the new defensive coordinator, and his staff had an excellent game plan for the Longhorns, and it showed up. But some individuals played well. Obviously, you saw Arvell Reese, 9 tackles all over the field. I thought Lorenzo Stiles had 7 tackles, had a really good game in the secondary, along with another safety, Jalen McClain, all over the field. And then obviously Caleb Downs getting everybody lined up inside. You know, when you look, I thought our defensive line, Caden McDonald, ended up with 8 tackles. For a defensive tackle, nose guard, that's getting it done. Defense showed up and was able to frustrate that offense and held the Longhorns just to 7 points. Offensively, that's a bad field position, you know, and that's going to happen during the course of the ball game. But on 4th and 1, they were able to pound it in to get the first touchdown with C.J. Donaldson. And then, obviously, the big play to Carnell Tate, the 40-yard touchdown pass. Maybe a slightly bit underthrown, but Carnell was able to come up with the catch. He also had another catch there that led to a first down. Just 2 catches for Carnell Tate, but both of them were big time to get their Buckeyes a victory.
Jim will be back later to talk about who on Ohio State's defense needs to zero in against the Grambling State offense. But when we come back, hear from Cincinnati native cornerback Germaine Matthews Jr. He's always a fun one to talk to when Game Time with Ryan Day returns.
Today's Game Time with Ryan Day show is brought to you by Huntington, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, AEP Energy, your Central Ohio Toyota dealers, and the Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center, Arthur G. James Cancer Hospital, and Richard J. Solove Research Institute.
You ever feel like your money is just lying around? Welcome to Huntington, a bank that believes we should all get more from money. Like a path to turn all those late nights into beach days, sunscreen Noel, and a nudge when you've got enough for the goat without wiping out the groceries. And anything to make life easier for all you small business owners. We see you, Dad. Banking isn't just checking and saving. It's about getting more from money. Huntington Bank.
Does everything seem more expensive these days, especially your utility bills? You can select AEP Energy to keep your costs low for your energy bills. Say goodbye to higher rates and say hello to savings. It's easy to get started. Simply choose a plan that's right for you, and AEP Energy will take care of the rest. You'll get your energy costs under control with a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started today. AEP Energy is the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get up high quality like bread baked in store and down low prices everywhere you turn. Up high quality that's guaranteed fresh and down low prices on over 1,000 items. With quality and savings that keep adding up, hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith, Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag BuckeyesCare.
Zero In is presented by Coca-Cola Zero. Coca-Cola Zero Sugar has more real Coca-Cola flavor, still without any sugar.
All right, Coach, next up for the Buckeyes, the top-ranked Buckeyes, by the way, Grambling State coming to town. Scout them for us on offense, and we're talking about a storied program here.
Yeah, this week Larry Johnson talked to our team a little bit about the history of Grambling and Eddie Robinson and what he meant to college football, and so we understand, some of the, historic, some of the stories and great teams that have been at Grambling and some of the great players. So I thought that was important for the team to know. But yeah, on offense, they'll line up in a lot of different formations and pretty creative about how they attack you. They try to get you out in space a bunch. They'll mix up tempos. So a different look than last week in terms of some of the things that they're going to do to attack us. So good to get a different style coming at us.
Well, we talked about Matt Patricia earlier. How about Timmy Walton and what he has meant to this club? A guy that played here, and I'll tell you what, that secondary was pretty buttoned down.
Well, that's it. And when you're watching, some of the stuff online, and you're seeing different things with the coverage disguises and variations. Tim is a big part of that. Tim's one of the co-coordinators with Matt, and his background of being in the NFL, he knows how to confuse quarterbacks, and he and Matt have worked well together. And I think you saw these guys really, first off, Tim has done a really good job recruiting. When you talk about the corners, he's had a heavy hand in the safeties with Matt Guerreri, but he had a lot of influence on the Caleb Downs decision to come here. So he's a huge part of our defense and one of the coordinators. And some of the ideas of what we did, he had a say in. So he was a big part of what we did on Saturday.
I know you study the game film with a critical eye. What are you most pleased with that you saw from your defense?
I think just the physicality and how hard we played. There, were there clips where we can play harder? Yes. But there was just a couple really gritty plays. The 4th and 1, obviously, again, it just shows what kind of a team you have, in my opinion. And then watching guys like Caden Curry play sideline to sideline, and Germaine Matthews driving the ball, and you saw a lot of guys, like we say, going 4 to 6 A to B +2, relentless effort, because that's a foundation. If that can be your identity, you can build on the rest of it. If you don't have that, you're going nowhere. And so I would say that we played that way. Can we get better? Yes. Was there a lot of things on film that we had to correct? For sure. But I would say that's probably what I was most happy with.
Single out a couple guys. David Igbenosin was your leading tackler, and right next to him, Arvell Reese, who was very active, fun to watch. We got a taste of what those guys are about, right?
Yeah, and I thought Davison's 4th down PBU down on the goal line was just a great play. One of the things, it's no surprise, that we've been working on is, some of the contact downfield. And so I thought he played that perfectly, and didn't create contact or hold and made the PBU. And he tackled well, has tackled well in the past. I think he had 7 tackles maybe. But then Arvell, like you said, is one of those guys that can do a lot of things. He can get off in coverage, he can play man coverage, he can rush, play the run game. And his production was significant in this game. And for kind of his first real big time start, to have that type of play, says a lot about him being ready, and also with James getting him ready.
Manning pivots to throw from his own 36. Shoots that up the right side of the field. Intercepted by Ohio State, and stepping out of bounds, Germaine Matthews with his 2nd career interception. Manning with a snap. Gets the ball looking to throw. Lofts that one right corner of the end zone, and it is incomplete in the right corner. Davison Igbenosin there to cover Parker Livingstone, the wide receiver. And Ohio State again comes up with a defensive stop on 4th down.
It's time to talk some defense. Bringing back in Coach Cooper and Tyvis Powell. I'm excited for this segment because it was truly beautiful out there on Saturday. And Coach, I'll start with you. The Silver Bullets, they lived up to the name. What were your thoughts? I mean, we'll start with the linebackers. You talked a little earlier about them. Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese absolutely dominated this game.
First of all, I think Coach Patricia had a great defensive game plan. They didn't have a clue of what kind of coverage they were going to have in the secondary, whether we're playing man, zone, or combination or whatever. But defensively, that's where you win championships. If you don't give up big plays, I think they had 125 yards offense in 3 quarters, something like that. Now, 4th quarter, they came alive a little bit and got more excited and moved the ball a little bit on us, had a couple big plays. But defense, if we keep playing defense like that, we're going to be undefeated.
When you look at the All-22 camp, Sometimes it's a little in the weeds for fans.
Yeah.
But it was really enjoyable to see just how difficult he made this on the Texas offense.
So we talk about the disguises. We have to start with the disguise. It was times where you had all of your DBs playing 10 yards off the ball straight across. What that does is cause confusion because as a quarterback, you look up there and you're taught to look for the boundary safety. The reason you look for the boundary safety is because he's going to rotate down and that's going to tell you it's cover 3 or cover 1, or he's going to stay high and that's going to tell you it's cover 2 or cover 4. So pre-snap reads is very important for a quarterback so he can know where to go with the football. Matt Patricia absolutely took that away. There was no tell or what they were running in coverage, and it caused a ton of confusion, and they had to work on the fly. And Arch wasn't doing really well processing what was going on. He also then had Arvell Reese, a guy who is the starting wheel linebacker on this defense, play on the line of scrimmage. Now, as an offensive line, you're taught if five or six guys are on the line of scrimmage, we have a certain protection that we have to play. What was going on was Arvell wasn't going. Sometimes he would go, sometimes he wouldn't. When he popped out, that is called a simulated pressure. You show 6, but you only send 4. When they did that, it dropped them in coverage. And again, Arch had no idea. That offensive line had no idea. So it caused a ton of confusion, and it bought time for guys to get pressure on Arch. It was unbelievable. It was masterclass. Matt Patricia, you're on your way.
Now, the man named Defensive Player of the Game for the Buckeyes, Germaine Matthews Jr. A huge interception in this matchup and showing why he came into the season with massive expectations. He talked with our Nicole Sheeran.
So, Germaine, just to start off, last year you got to learn from 2 guys like Jordan Hancock, Denzel Burke. Obviously, they're in the NFL now, but what did you learn from those guys that you're hoping to take over this season?
I think Denzel, he taught me really how to be a pro, just day-to-day routine. Game day routine, how to watch film, things like that, just taking the game more serious. Jordan, he's more of like football player. Like he shows me more like, I took more like on the field things from Jordan and like his techniques and things that he does on the field.
You really have an opportunity to take on a huge leadership role this season. Does that excite you, and how pumped are you for that opportunity?
I'm very excited. I can't wait to get started. We already really been started, but just can't wait to just get this thing going. I'm just excited that I can just lead the guys, the young guys, and they'll follow me, like they'll listen. And it's a good feeling that you got guys that wants to learn, and they'll listen to what you got to say.
There's a reason why it's called BIA. That's the model you guys live by. What would you say to some of those doubters out there who have been talking about, I don't know if the defense is going to be as strong, they lost a lot of guys. What would you say to them?
We got a lot of guys that's hungry, and they're ready. They've been here for a while. They've been ready to be unleashed out the cage, I should say. So I think you just watch us. There's going to be a lot of hungry guys out there, and we're going to put on a show.
It's very obvious that you and Coach Walt have a very close relationship. Talk to me about that, and how important is that for you?
Oh, very important. That's probably one of the most important things to us as picking a school. And while I patrols here, I think Coach Walt was a very genuine guy. And he's been the same guy since I met him at my basketball game, junior year of high school. So I think just building that relationship with your position coach is very big. And his personality and the things that he pours into you and the knowledge that he has is you wouldn't even understand the type of guy he really is.
You guys always talk about iron sharpens iron. Every day at practice, you get to go up against an elite offense with probably one of the best wide receiver rooms in the country right now.
The best.
Yes, the best, that's right. How does that make you a better player every single day?
It helps wonders because, like I probably said this before, but whoever you see on Saturday ain't going to equate to who you see every single day in practice. And some of the guys that we got out there, they're unbelievable. They're fast, strong. They can run routes. They can block. So I think getting that look every day is big, especially for the position that we play. Is very hard positions. It's very tough mentally as well. So I think getting those mental reps and those physical reps out there in practice every day will help us.
It's time to send it over to All-American Jim Lachey to see who the defense needs to zero in on. Jim?
Now looking at the Grambling State offense, I think we're going to zero in on the quarterback, Xavier T-Set, a sophomore, but he's a guy that can play a lot of football and do some good things with the football in his hand. I think Mickey Joseph kind of said it best, their head coach. He's got a poker face type guy, so he's kind of a cool, calm, delivers the football to different people. Now you also see number 15, Ashton Fry, get some reps at quarterback. They have a 2-quarterback system, both those guys last week. But when you look at T-Set, completed 80% of his passes last week and 3 touchdowns. Now the running back situation, I think they'll probably go with Trey Bradford. They had 4 guys had 6 or more attempts last week in their ball game, but Trey Bradford's a guy that's been in the portal 4 times. LSU, Oklahoma, North Texas State. Now he's with Grambling as a grad student, so he has some experience. But as I mentioned, they'll play a lot of guys. Their offensive line, pretty good size at 6'4", 315. So they'll want to come in here and try to run the football. They had a pretty balanced attack last week. Ohio State hopefully gets them 3rd and long and have to make them throw the football under some duress this week.
Zero In is presented by Coca-Cola Zero. Coca-Cola Zero Sugar has more real Coca-Cola flavor, still without any sugar.
Thanks, Jim. Coming up next, back to the man in charge as he gets ready for Grambling State. You're watching Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington.
One time, our sump pump died at 10 p.m. So we called Atlas Butler.
Yeah, and they were on it immediately.
Like a deer in headlights.
He thinks that means fast.
Call 1-800-FURNACE.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk and Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk and Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
X follow Buckeye, X follow Buckeye.
I like to drink chocolate milk after a workout because it provides a great source of protein and helps my body recover. It's my favorite. I'm built like a Buckeye, and you can be too. Enter to win free chocolate milk for a year.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State Wexner Medical Center is the choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists. With access to the advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
We love Atlas Butler. They're a family-owned company and they do it all.
Our furnace, AC, plumbing, sump pump, drains.
Yeah, if only they could load the dishwasher.
I load the dishwasher.
Call 1-800-FURNACE.
This portion of Game Time with Ryan Day is brought to you by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center.
Well, they call them special teams for a reason because they are special. Just overall thoughts coming out of Texas.
Yeah, I think we have tremendous buy-in in the entire building on special teams. Players, coaches. We have multiple coaches involved. Matt Guerrieri runs our punt team. You know, Rob Keys runs the whole thing. Nate Ebner is very much involved, helping with kickoff return. Keenan Bailey is very much involved. James Laurinaitis does the kickoff. So, I mean, just about everybody, other than the coordinators, offense and defensive line and quarterbacks, everybody else is involved. And it's good to have different coaches up there coaching. And when you're in, this is what I believe. If you want to be a good football player, you need to be a good special teams player. Almost every great player that's come through Ohio State has been a good special teams player. And I say this all the time, if you're not playing, it's probably because you're not playing on special teams. And so what we try to do in those meetings is teach fundamentals. It's like being in a football clinic. Now, as we get going with the season, a lot of times we have to talk about the scheme and those types of things. But in the off season, it's all about how do you get better? You know, how do you block, use your hands, how do you defeat blocks, leverage, phase, all these different things. So it's been great. We're all involved with it. We spent a lot of time on it. And I think we have a chance to be good this year on special teams. And I think it can be a difference. So again, was special teams in this game make or break? No, but we want it to be a plus. I didn't think it was, so we're going to work hard to make sure it is next time.
Last thing I want to ask you about Nate Ebner. Here's a guy that made a career in the NFL on special teams. How's he translating with the kids?
No, he's been great. Learning how to become a coach, but has great credibility with his story. Has a lot of intelligence. Really knows how to, verbalize a thought, and understands it at a high level. When he was in the NFL with the New York Giants, he was sort of, as he put it, kind of running the special team. So he was sort of a player coach late in his career. And the rules in college are different, but he's been a big value add. And it's great to see him growing as a coach as well, and the guys really like playing for him.
More from our experts and Coach Day coming up. You're watching Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington.
Community outreach is presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center.
Trying to spend time. I've been able to do a lot of work with an amazing organization called the Huckleberry House. They're a youth homeless shelter. So they have a few events every year. They do a sleep out event where they try and raise as much money as possible for that year. And at the end of the night, on the day of the sleep out event, everyone sleeps outside. So I participated in that about 3 times and helped raise, I think it's a little over $30,000. So it's been awesome, just trying to give back. But I think the most important thing is just giving time, whether it be going to little kids' practices and talking to them, taking them through drills and stuff like that, or going to the homeless shelter, having pizza with the kids, talking ball. They're telling me how they can run me over and stuff like that. So just giving my time back to maybe those who aren't as fortunate as I was growing up. So trying to do my part.
Kroger is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
Hi, I'm John Young, president of Kroger's Columbus Division. Being a Buckeye means coming together to help our neighbors. Kroger feeds the human spirit through our Zero Hunger, Zero Waste plan to end hunger in our communities and eliminate waste in our stores. Join us, Buckeye Nation, by rounding up at any Kroger register. Together, we can end hunger and go Bucks.
For the child you promised to give their own room.
Okay. Right, go check it out. Your brand new room. Told you we get you your own room. What do you think?
For the wife you promised to give more space.
Sorry. These are for you. What do you think of everything?
It's beautiful.
For yourself, who you promised to give the kitchen of your dreams. Let Union Home Mortgage be with you every step of the way and help you deliver on those promises. Union Home Mortgage. Promises kept.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change technicians train hard. As a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, we gave this walk-on a shot. Honing their speed, accuracy, and efficiency. To be a champion, you have to train like one.
Ready for oil change,
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Experts you can trust.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access
to cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
We have driven a lot of Toyotas over the years. For quality, dependability, and value, you can't beat them.
Like this Camry, the newest version of America's best-selling car.
Now it's 100% hybrid, with more standard power, better handling, and available all-wheel drive.
This Camry XSE gets 47 mpg, and it comes with a 12.3-inch touchscreen and Toyota Safety Sense 3.0.
Get 4.75 APR financing on a new 25 Camry, or lease a Camry for $279 a month.
Toyota, let's go places.
Game Time with Ryan Day is presented by Huntington. Get more than money from your bank. See how at huntington.com/getmore.
All right, Coach, let's take a look at this Tiger defense. What do they like to do?
They'll play like most teams do, with 3 down front, 4 down front. They'll mix it up. They'll mix up the coverages, quarters. They'll play some man-to-man. Whether they do against us, I'm not sure. They'll play cover 3. And so, we have to be ready for multiple looks. I think, they have some good players. And, watching their film the other day, it seems like they've got some new players in there that look like they're playing fast.
We talked earlier about Julian Sayin. Give the fans an idea of what his football IQ is. We all see the way he can throw the football, but, you know, there's so much more that goes into it, being a student of the game, and actually, as you mentioned, you know, seeing what's going out on the field. Where is he at in that point? And traditionally, how long does it take till the game slows down for a kid like that?
It's different for everybody, but I do think he processes information well. I think he can verbalize what he's thinking and what he saw, which is very, very good. You know, like anybody else, he makes mistakes, but I've noticed that he doesn't make the same mistake twice, and that's a big deal. You know, standing in that pocket with the trees and, you know, learning how to feel the rush and find your way through those passing lanes and making sure that, you know, you're over the top of the throws and understanding the timing and the spacing and his footwork. You know, you have to drive the ball into these tight windows, and so sometimes that means changing up, you know, some of your mechanics from when you were able to kind of take a little bit off of it, anticipate and touch some of those throws in high school. But now he's been in the program now for, you know, quite a while. Well, not quite a while, but you know, over a year, and so, you know, now he's practiced a lot. He's got a lot of the reps on the field in practice. And when you're going against our defense, you know, it's a hell of a defense. So, you know, you learn quickly that you got to move fast. He's found the speed. I think, you know, you saw him find the speed of the game the other day. So, you know, we got to keep building on it. But I liked his week of practice. That was a good sign. The ball came out of his hand with confidence.
You had told me after the game you probably could have done some more, but you kind of decided not to. With that said, how much do you hope to turn it up this week?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's time to go now. And I think regardless of the opponent, you're trying to build somebody. You're trying to develop a quarterback, and there's a lot that goes with that. You know, there's an art to it. There's got to be a plan. You got to know what you're doing, in my opinion, because I've seen a lot of quarterbacks get ruined by just throwing them out there at the wolves, and then something goes bad. And you know, you can make a quarterback look really good or really bad as a coach, and then it gets to the point where the quarterback can make the coach look really good or really bad. You know, when they're young, it's your job as a coach to make sure that you're making them look good. And this guy's going to help us, you know, make us look good down the road. But we have to make sure that we're building him up as it goes. But the more he can take, the more we're going to give him.
Sayin under center. 4th and goal with the ball inside the Texas 2. Handoff goes to Donaldson. Knifes into the end zone for a touchdown. C.J. Donaldson followed his blockers. Sayin in a shotgun, receives the football, takes a handoff, looks to throw. Sayin will pump that one deep down the right side, left sideline, Tate with it. Taken down in the end zone for a touchdown. Carnell Tate.
All right, I want to bring back in our experts, and we're shifting over to offense. And Coach Coop, I'll start with you, and we'll start with number 10. It seemed like Julian Sayin was calm, cool, and collected the entire game. You would not have thought that it was his first career start. What were your thoughts on the sophomore's
I think we need to give a lot of credit to Brian Hartline, his first game that he called the plays in. I thought he had a great game plan. We didn't put a lot of pressure on him. We didn't ask him to do a lot. You know, if you don't turn the ball over and you keep possession of the football and you play defense like we have, you don't have to have big plays. Now, I think you'll see big plays as we get on down the season. But I thought they called a great game. We didn't turn it over, and we won the game. And that's all. That's a big thing. That's what counts.
Just win.
Just win, baby.
That was
win, baby.
Win, baby. That was the goal.
Exactly.
They did win, and in doing that, they were led by 2 running backs. We knew that it was going to be a 2-back system here, Tyvus.
Yeah.
Little surprised to see C.J. Donaldson get the first carry. In the bulk of the load there, what are your thoughts on kind of how that running back room played out?
I don't necessarily put a lot of stock in who started, who got the most carries. I think that if you've paid attention to what we do with the running back rooms over the past couple of years, it seems like there's a new leading back every game. I think it's to do that to keep hits off the body. Love the fact that they have multiple guys that can come in there and get it done. I think that in this game, they wanted to establish the line of scrimmage. C.J. Donaldson is your guy who's the short yardage goal line back, the more physical guy. And I thought that he put his head down and got those tough yardage. So it was nice to see. I think when we see as this season goes on and progresses, I think that changes up. James People gets a ton of carries in some games. I think it goes back and forth.
I think it's pretty crazy to say when you look at this game, offense and defense. They were going against the second best team in the country, I think we can agree now, and they looked that good. Beyond impressive to see how all these different units started. All right, thanks, guys. They'll be back in just a little bit, but want to bring in All-American Jim Lachey as he talks about this Buckeye offense against the Tigers defense. Jim?
Ohio State this week will face Grambling State Tigers. On defense, they play kind of a 4-2-5. Their defensive coordinator, Jason Rollins, has been there for a year or two, so he's kind of got these guys coordinated. I look at their secondary, and they got 2 seniors and 2 graduates, so very experienced back there. Last week against Langston, minus 32 yards rushing, just 97 yards total, 5 sacks, 3 turnovers in that game. So they were kind of kept up the trend from the year ago when they created 32 turnovers. So you got to take care of the football against this team. I think by far their best player might be number 4, Bryce Cage. 6'5", 269, defensive end, can come off the edge, can make some plays. He's a guy that throughout their conference, I think he's going to be an outstanding football player when it's all said and done.
Jim is coming back with the Elk and Elk 2 Deep report in a few minutes, but coming up on Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington, we sit down with Ohio State defensive line coach Larry Johnson.
For the child you promised to give their own room.
Okay. All right, go check it out. Your brand new room. Told you we get you your own room. What do you think?
For the wife you promised to give more space.
Sorry. These are for you. What do you think of everything? It's beautiful.
For yourself, who you promised to give the kitchen of your dreams. Let Union Home Mortgage be with you every step of the way and help you deliver on those promises. Union Home Mortgage. Promises kept.
True North Convenience Stores is your coffee and fountain champions. Now with True Rewards, when you buy 6 True Brew coffees or True Oasis fountain drinks, you'll get the 7th free. Whether it's your daily Java fix or a cold drink on the go. Sip, save, and enjoy the perks. Just sign up for True Rewards on the App Store or visit TrueNorthStores.com to get started. True North Convenience Stores, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
At Planet Fitness, no 2 members are alike. Their routines are different. They use different equipment.
1, 2, 3.
And they do it for different reasons.
You're a mythical beast.
But they all have one thing in common.
Hey, you got this, come on.
They're all strong. That's right. We're all strong on this planet. Planet Fitness.
One more, everybody.
1 more? I got 5 more.
American Electric Power is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
Hi, I'm Janelle Coleman with American Electric Power. At AEP, we're proud to support our communities, powering progress and creating opportunities every day. Our partnership with Buckeyes Care reflects a shared commitment to uplifting Central Ohio through service, connection, and care. Together, we are building a brighter future for everyone we serve.
James Peoples here, running back for the Ohio State Buckeyes. You have to check out the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. Get all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Buckeye sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with the 10% off select gear at the Ohio State Team Shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
He's long been considered one of the best coaches in the game, and he has the talent in the NFL to prove it. We sat down with associate head coach and defensive line coach Larry Johnson.
So, Coach, just to start off, I mean, you have coached some elite talent over the years, 9 first-round draft picks, obviously guys like Jack, JT, Tyleek, Ty from last season. When you watch your guys go to the league, how rewarding is that as a coach?
That's why I do it, I'll be honest with you. Just there's a reason why you do what I do. It's just not about, getting there, but getting there and sustaining it. And I think the guys who left here gone in NFL and play, like it was really cool today, Sam Hubbard was here today. And just to come back, right, and just to hang out a little bit, right, and to see him walk back playing 8 years, look really great. Those are the moments I enjoy. You know what I mean? And seeing those guys do that and changing their lives, and change their family life, and that's what coaching is all about, trying to make a difference.
Losing those guys from last season, obviously big time shoes to fill. How have you seen some of the current guys step up and fill those roles?
They know what's ahead of them, and I think that's the biggest thing. What is our expectation? What is it we have to do to replace? We can't replace those guys. Well, we got to play the level that we don't let the level of our play go down because their guys are gone. And I think the most impressive thing thus far since spring until now, I think we've gone leaps and bounds in moving forward. Now we have some work to do, but I think they understand the expectation. And that's the biggest thing in my room. Do you understand the expectation? And that's one of the questions I ask every day. Do you understand that goal? What's the expectation for this room? The expectation of the room is to be great.
You have so many different kinds of athletes on your line. Specifically with an athlete like CJ Hicks. He moves from linebacker, joins your side now. How have you seen him evolve as a Buckeye?
It's a big transition because you're going from being in space and running to being on the line and turn scrimmage at point of attack. And now he's facing guys 320, 330 at the edge position or facing double teams from a tight end. That is just all different landscape for him. So we're trying to teach him to discipline his eyes, his passes. So CJ has a skill set, but now it's just fundamental development to be successful.
When you look at a new defensive line unit, it's exciting. The challenge is exciting. But on top of that, how much does it excite you that you get to work with a new defensive coordinator like Matt Patricia and kind of work with a new defensive scheme to a certain extent?
No doubt, really. You embrace it, and you learn more. You know, a different style of defense, a different way of doing things, right? And he's such a brilliant guy, and what he's doing is really simple, with a lot of pieces to it, which is what I really like. So I've been having fun. I think we have a great relationship. We knew each other in the past, and I know his scheme, what he wants to do, and it's been fun to watch him put it together, you know what I mean? And I think our kids love it too. I think it's going to be fun to watch.
Now let's send it over to Jim Lachey for this week's Elk and Elk 2-Deep Report.
This week on my Elk and Elk 2-Deep Report, I'm going to focus on Ohio State's defensive ends. Of course, Larry Johnson, a longtime defensive line coach at Ohio State, has those guys coached up. And what you saw last week is he had 4 senior starters. So you got Caden Curry. He had the most snaps at 59 snaps. He's got the ability to make some plays, 51 career tackles, so he's been around. Kenyatta Jackson also played that other defensive end as senior. Bo Atkinson filled in for him. Those guys both split time over there. Of course, he's a new transfer from North Carolina. And then you got CJ Hicks, who made a big play there at the end. Remember, CJ switched from linebacker, now playing defensive end, and I think he's going to be a force as the season goes on. Now, as I mentioned, all 4 of those guys, seniors, need some young guys to step up. Maybe throughout the course of the season, you'll see number 15, Zion Grady, kid out of Alabama, Enterprise, Alabama, now here with Ohio State. I think he's got a bright future for Ohio State at the defensive end position.
This week's 2-Deep Report is presented by Elk and Elk. Serious fans of Ohio State athletics, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO.
Coming up next on Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington, it's final thoughts time with the Tigers, plus Jim is back with the American Dairy Association. Keys to the game. Stay with us.
At Ohio State, we are the agile, bold breakthrough teams. The never afraid to innovate teams. And the achieve more together teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
You ever feel like your money is just lying around? Welcome to Huntington Bank, where your money is always doing something. While you're grabbing that cute donkey for your nephew, is pushing more towards savings so you can go visit him. When you're listening to him go on and on and on, it's planning your escape. It even sends you a little love note telling you it's proud of you. See, your money's smart. It just needs the right partner. Let's get more from money. Huntington Bank.
Ohio, it's time for football. And now, Buckeyes fans have the chance to become the comfiest fans in the shoe. Sponsored by Logan Services. One lucky winner and a guest will be chosen for each home game. All you have to do is visit Logan Services website to enter. Logan Services cares about your comfort, and they want to see you in these seats. Logan Services, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State Wexner Medical Center is the choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists. With access to the advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
When it comes to SUVs, more people count on RAV4.
Year after year, this is the best-selling SUV in America.
Toyota RAV4 is so versatile, you've got room for all your stuff.
So you can go back in the woods or out on the town.
This RAV4 is a hybrid EV. It can go over 560 miles without stopping for gas or to recharge.
Get a new 25 RAV4 with 4.75 APR financing.
Or lease a gas-powered RAV4 for $299 a month with 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Toyota, let's go places.
Keys to the Game are presented by the American Dairy Association Mideast. A reminder from Ohio's dairy farmers, 8 ounces of delicious chocolate milk has 8 grams of high-quality protein with the power to fuel everyone from elite athletes to weekend warriors.
Here are my keys to the game against the Grambling State Tigers. Number 1, start fast. I mean, you can say that for every ball game, but especially in this ball game. They're going to come in here with a little bit of doubt. You want to make sure that doubt stays in their minds. Now, they're a team that understands what they're getting into, but for the Buckeyes and for their performance, they got to come out of the gate, start fast, whether it's offense or defense side of the ball. Number 2, again, every game, right, create turnovers. Last week, Ohio State had that key interception by Germaine Matthews. That stopped the drive, led to some points. Almost had a second one there with Sonny Siles that got upheld. End up being not an interception. Going against Grambling State, a team, as I talked about, they like to create turnovers. So Ohio State's got to win that battle, the turnover battle this week. And number 3, hey, let's crank up that rushing attack. Last week, just averaged 2.4 yards per carry. Now, this is a defense that maybe you can get some of those big plays. Last week, you saw C.J. Donaldson at 19 attempts rushing the football, and then you got James Peoples had 10. I think you'll see Ohio State try to crank up that offense a little bit more and crank up that rushing attack. Offensive line's got to do their job. They got to open up some big holes so those backs can find it and get through it.
Well, gentlemen, it's already final thoughts time, and we haven't really talked about Grambling State. So, Coach, I'll start with you. What does Ohio State hope to get out of a matchup like this with the Tigers?
Well, I think we need to put them away early and play a lot of players, not get anybody hurt. We didn't substitute a lot last week. We didn't get those second and third teamers didn't play hardly at all. Get them in the game. Obviously we're going to win this game. There's no question about it.
Just played the number 1 team in the country. Yeah. And now Grambling State's coming to the shoe. How do you avoid that letdown? How do you avoid overlooking this massive matchup?
Well, I think that at Ohio State, we do a really good job of boosting the competition, even if they're not as good as coaches try to portray them as. So get some of those younger guys in there, like Coach is saying, get them some of those reps. And, I think that is how you go into this game and have a productive game. Plus, I told you, there are some things that the defense missed that is minor, but this is a way for them to clean those minor things up to make this defense go from good to great.
All right, now it's time for our Union Home Mortgage Drive to the Championship polls. And guys, Ohio State is the number 1 team in the country. Easy question here. Tyvis, do you agree?
Absolutely. I mean, you go out and you dominate against a team that they had preseason number 1. You look as good as you did on defense. Yes, you are the number 1 team in the country.
Do you think anyone else can lay claim to the fact that they're the best team in the country?
I think we're number 1. I put Penn State at close 2, though.
Okay.
I like Penn State. They got a lot of players coming back.
This week's Drive to the Championship is presented by Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Coming up, though, final thoughts from your head coach. You're watching Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington.
You're more than what they see. More than the speed, the strength, the skill, the precision. More than moments of victory. Greatness grows outside of the spotlight. So, when the game ends, you keep going. Hours spent learning, improving, solving, giving it your all in everything you do. Right Rug Flooring is proud to support those who work hard and never stop.
Does everything seem more expensive these days, especially your utility bills? You can select AEP Energy to keep your costs low for your energy bills. Say goodbye to higher rates and say hello to savings. It's easy to get started. Simply choose a plan that's right for you, and AEP Energy will take care of the rest. You'll get your energy costs under control with a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started today. AEP Energy is the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The best outcomes for treating cancer come from early detection and early diagnosis.
The James Cancer Diagnostic Center at Ohio State
is designed to provide rapid evaluation and a clear diagnosis.
We are transforming care by giving patients direct access
to cancer experts who study and treat cancer every day.
If you think you have cancer, the choice is clear.
Choose the James Cancer Diagnostic Center.
Donato's is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
At Donato's, serving others and nourishing relationships has always been at the heart of what we do. This means not only serving the best pizza, but giving back to wonderful communities like the Reeb Avenue Center. We believe in supporting one another and treating people fairly, honestly, and with respect.
We're proud to have Donato's as the official pizza sponsor of Ohio State Athletics and thank them for helping make Central Ohio such a wonderful place to live.
Go Bucks!
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get up high quality like bread baked in-store and down low prices everywhere you turn. Up high quality that's guaranteed fresh and down low prices on over 1,000 items. With quality and savings that keep adding up, hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Welcome back to Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington. Here's Dom Tiberi with final thoughts from the head coach of the Buckeyes, Ryan Day.
14-7 win over then-ranked #1 Texas. Did anything surprise you in that game, and what did you learn about your team in that game?
I think the thing that I liked the most was we say, and it's a military term, and the funny thing is President Carter came and spoke to the team the week before, and he says, you sink to the level of your training. I say it all the time. You sink to the level of your training. So how you train every day in practice is how you're going to play in the game. And sometimes I think individual players don't realize that when they watch somebody practice, they know what they're going to get in the game when they watch them, but they don't think the same thing about themselves. They think, well, maybe when I get to the game, I'm just going to turn it on. It doesn't work that way. You sink to the level of your training. You don't step up to the opportunity. I think what we saw in practice is what we saw in the game, and that's a good sign for a team that hasn't played a whole bunch of football. I saw the statistic that we ended the year with a team that had almost 700 starts under its belt with the starting 22. We went into this game under 200. So it's a young team, it's an inexperienced team, but I thought we were edgy. I thought we played with some toughness and physicality, and that's a great foundation and a good start.
Buckeyes versus Tigers, your keys to victory.
We got to get better. We got to start fast. I felt like we had an opportunity there with the ball at midfield, in that game to go right down the field and score. So we want to start fast in this game. Got to attack the ball on defense. We want to be more explosive on offense, and we got to have an edge. And we're looking to either steal a possession or gain a score on special teams.
Thanks for joining us on Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington. Hope you enjoy the Buckeyes versus Tigers. We'll see you back here next Saturday to get you set for the Buckeyes versus Ohio University. Enjoy the game.
Today's Game Time with Ryan Day show is brought to you by Huntington, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, AEP Energy, your Central Ohio Toyota dealers, and the Ohio State University Comprehensive Cancer Center, Arthur G. James Cancer Hospital, and Richard J. Solove Research Institute.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile get it done teams, the bold breakthrough teams, and the improve people's lives teams. The more than 10,000 strong research teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
X follow Buckeye, X follow Buckeye.
I like to drink chocolate milk after a workout because it provides a great source of protein and helps my body recover. It's my favorite. I'm built like a Buckeye, and you can be too. Enter to win free chocolate milk for a year.
Ohio, it's time for football. And now, Buckeyes fans have the chance to become the comfiest fans in the shoe. Sponsored by Logan Services. One lucky winner and a guest will be chosen for each home game. All you have to do is visit Logan Services website to enter. Logan Services cares about your comfort, and they want to see you in these seats. Logan Services, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
As a lifestyle guard, I help people live their best day in the sun. That means keeping the games going. Coming to the rescue when the floaty is too floppy. And delivering high noon when the cooler's empty.
Oh, do you have any peach?
High noon, sun's up.
You're watching WBNS 10 TV.